Let's get all sorted. I'm James.
And I'm Jeff. Today we collect our thoughts and play with the results.
Lego. Is it a toy or a collectible? As always, if you want to check out links to everything we're talking about today, head over to breakingdads.com.
Breakingdads.com?
Breakingdads.com.
You can leave us a comment there or find us on Twitter. I'm at Still Sorting.
And if you like what we're doing, please let someone else know about the podcast. Spread the word however you can. We would be extremely grateful.
If you like, you can spread the word by rearranging all the letters in your alphabet soup to spell out all sorted, and then just leave the bowl out till everybody else you live with gets the message.
Wow, that's a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
Within the house. Could do that at work. Could do that out in public. Leave it on a park bench.
Wherever you take alphabet soup,
everywhere.
Just make sure it's all sorted.
Where don't you take alphabet soup?
That's right. I guess I'm asking the wrong questions.
I'm a lifelong learner, Jeff. I'm always I eat alphabet soup everywhere.
I love when we learn fun facts about you at the beginning of a podcast. So James likes alphabet soup, and library. You always spell all sorted now, right?
I do, absolutely.
That's right. Maybe we should talk about Lego instead of alphabet soup.
So what are we about today?
Okay, well, everybody knows that Lego started out as a toy company by a family that loved to produce high-quality products and burn down buildings. But in recent years, it looks more and more like Lego is dropping the toy side of production and replacing it with collectibles. Lego has lost their way before, be it with forays into theme parks or clothes or fashion dolls, but they always find their way back to the core of building toys for children, although sometimes it took the threat of near bankruptcy to find their way back, but still. In recent years, I felt that perhaps Lego is beginning to lose their way again.
Uh-oh.
Let's talk our way through the problem and see if I'm onto something or if I'm just being paranoid.
Well,
all right?
Both.
No, not if I'm on something and paranoid.
Okay.
If I'm on to something.
Gotcha.
Okay. So the case for Lego moving towards collectability, I think the most obvious one we can start with is a line that has the word collectible right on the name, the Collectible minifigure series.
That's a giveaway.
Yes. I think if you're producing a collectible series of anything, you're saying,
if you're telling people,
hey, buy some collectibles. Collect these.
You have to.
Yeah.
It's an obligation.
So in March of 2010, Lego released the first series of collectible minifigures, and since then they've released a collectible minifigure series almost every 3 months on average.
It seems like that's been going on forever.
It does. It's only been since 2010.
Wow.
That's 20 collectible minifigure series sets in 67 months.
Okay, that is a lot.
Yes. Or you look at it as 323 minifigs released in 2,133 days.
Wow.
So that means if you're a child and you take some of your allowance and you buy one minifigure every week with that allowance, starting from the very first day they came out, and you never get a double, which is hard to do, you would still be missing 18 minifigs from your collection.
On the upside, you'd be really good at feeling polybags to know what's in it. So that's a skill.
It's a skill that I wish I had. I just don't have, my fingers don't like it.
That's incredible with one a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
One a week and you still wouldn't have all of them. That's maybe they're releasing a lot. I don't know.
I can't imagine that's a conscious decision by them.
No. I'm sure sales have not justified these releases.
They looked at them and went, oh my goodness, looks like we accidented onto something here.
Yeah, I know for me, outside of my local Lego store, I'm lucky to find a new series a week after it's come out. As they, my local big box store puts out the boxes and they're just gone and rifled through and empty. And we're not even counting the 2012 London Olympic series or the 2016 German soccer team sets or football, if you're German, although you probably wouldn't say football, you'd say some sort of German word equivalency, which I don't know. But those were only available in limited countries, so I left them out of my count.
So are you seeing these hit the secondary market?
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
So is that people just buying a box?
People buy several boxes and part them out and keep their sets and sell everything else for generally a little more. It depends on the figure in the series, but, some are up, some are down, but they all get sold. So if you just want to buy the exact one, you can do it on the secondary market. But what's the fun in that?
No.
So you can tell that Lego was thinking of these as collectibles, other than calling them collectible minifigures. And they definitely weren't thinking of just making it a cheap and easy way for kids to get cooler minifigs. Now, at first, the first two series had a secondary barcode on the back of the package, so you knew what minifigure was inside the bag.
Right.
That way, if you wanted to get a specific one, or if you wanted to build an army of, ninjas, you could do that. For Series 3 and 4, they replaced the easy-to-read barcode with a series of Braille-like bumps, which made it harder, but still helpful. And I know for me, I would just make sure I had 12 different sequences of bumps, and I knew, or 16 different sequences of bumps. I knew I had the whole series. That made it easy. And they said, no, let's get rid of that. So after Series 4, everything they released has been completely blind, unless you have the time to stand there all day and feel around the bags, hoping your fingers lead the way to victory, which my fingers never, ever do. There are people out there with that just magic ability within 30 seconds to know what's inside of it with 100% certainty.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm always trying to convince myself, like, no, maybe this is the one. Maybe this one has Buzz Lightyear's visor. This is it, right? It's gotta be.
We shouldn't let you near like Vegas. Keep you away from anything where you've got to just make, guessy decisions and gut instinct and...
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I think it's just with the feeling.
Just with the feeling?
Yeah, I think my instincts are right. Like, I knew you were trouble.
But you don't have magic
when
skills.
You walked
You
in.
couldn't be a magician.
No, my sleight of hand is terrible. I used to be able to make things disappear and impress my children, but then they turned 2, and it just completely ruined that. So in 2013, Series 10 is where LEGO freely admits that they're in the collectible game, and they really want people to spend lots and lots of money on these collectible minifigures, as they released a limited edition Mr. Gold minifigure into 5,000 boxes of collectible minifigure Series 10. So 5,000, which seems like, okay, that could be a lot, but it's really hard to figure out how rare this figure is, as LEGO doesn't tell us how many boxes they release of each series. So I did a little back-of-the-envelope math here. Around 2013, LEGO was producing approximately 250 minifigs a year. They made 3 collectible minifigure series that year.
Did you say 250 or 250 million?
250 million.
Okay, sorry.
Yes. 250 would not be a lot.
No, I was thinking, I was like, what?
They made 5,000 Mr. Gold, so you know it's going to be bigger than 5,000. 250 million. So let's say, and again, this is a total guess, that the collectible minifigure series accounted for about 1/3 of the total minifigure production from that year. So that gives us around 85 million collectible minifigures. Further, again, we're just guessing here, that LEGO knew that Mr. Gold would cause a collectible frenzy, and that half the collectible minifigure series production of that year went to Series 10. So say about 42 million or so minifigures. That would put your odds of finding Mr. Gold at about 1 in 8,400, which, if I'm honest, actually seems a little too good. I don't know if that's accurate. I feel like it would be even harder to find
That's
than that.
better than lottery odds.
It's better than lottery odds, and you definitely are winning the lottery if you find it, because if you find that Mr. Gold, and if you went to sell it today, you'd get about between $1,000 and $2,000 for Mr. Gold. So each minifigure weighs about 4 grams, which I have no idea what that is in ounces for you Imperial listeners out there, but 4 grams is very, very light. If you had 4 grams of pure gold, it would only be worth about $200.
Yeah.
So Mr. Gold is worth more than his weight in gold.
That's an impressive amount of money for that thing.
A piece of plastic.
That's bananas.
Yes.
Wow.
And 5,000 of them worldwide.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
No. That's not something I think you would attempt to try to get. You would just get it if you did.
Oh, but people did try to get, and they bought boxes after box after box.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's just...
But then I guess if you know you can sell the minifigures on the secondary market, it's not a risk scenario.
If you can buy the boxes from an original source.
Yeah, right.
But if you're buying sealed boxes on the hope of getting that there might be a Mr. Gold inside, of course, the boxes sell for an inflated price over and above what they would on the secondary market. So, yeah, it's good times.
Man.
But at no point do I think children's best interests are in mind when you're creating a frenzy on a collectible with the entire idea. Now, LEGO had to know that the secondary market was going to explode with these Mr. Golds, and that people weren't buying them hoping to get a Mr. Gold so they could say, oh, look at me, I have a Mr. Gold. And I'm sure there are people out there that are like, no, I want to keep it as mine to say that I have it.
Yeah.
I would sell it. It just doesn't seem toy-like to me. Not only that, it's not even a great minifigure. It's just a gold minifigure with a top hat. It's not the most exciting.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's my feelings on them. Now, just to wrap up this whole idea with the collectible minifigures, to give you an idea of how much these series have affected LEGO's production, it took over 30 years for the worldwide LEGO minifigure population to reach 4 billion. And so by 2009, Lego was saying there's 4 billion minifigures in the world. And that means about 130 million figures per year on average. After the release of the Collectible minifigure series in 2010, Lego only needed 4 years to hit 5 billion Lego minifigs worldwide, or about 250 million a year. Now, just last year, Lego announced that they produced on average 23 minifigures per second in 2015. That's over 725 million minifigures in 1 year. The human population only grew by about 100 million in 2015.
We're being invaded.
Yeah.
They're taking over.
It's funny because there was around 2009, they released a graph that said around 2019, the Lego minifigure population would outstrip the human population.
Blowing by us.
Pretty sure we might be at that point already as production. I mean, you're doing 250 million a year, and I don't think 2016 they're going to slow down.
I think people worry a lot about, silly things like the zombie apocalypse, but I worry about Lego minifigures gaining sentience. They gain some kind of artificial intelligence, we're done for.
I don't know, because their heads are tiny, right? So there's only, they would be, I think, an instinct-based intelligence, right? And I don't know.
Some large neural network they're going to create with their one neuron each.
Yes. So it'd be more like a swarm type thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Exactly. And it's swarm intelligence. That's horrifying.
That would be a terrible way to go.
But we digress.
I'd say that the odds are low.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. I can sleep at night. I can get rid of my ABS melting chemicals now.
Yeah, I think you don't need to sleep with a vial under your pillow just in case. Let's move on from minifigs, though. Another thing that I've noticed, if you look around the Lego store nowadays, you'll see a lot of large box sets in the $100 plus price range. Now, some of this can be explained by the fact that Lego releases more sets in more lines now than they have ever done in the past. But a higher percentage of Lego store space is now dedicated to models aimed at the adult market.
More licensed stuff too, I guess.
Yeah, because they've got more licenses than they have. They used to just have one, and now they have several. They have their own properties like Ninjago and Nexo Knights, right? And all of those have big sets because you gotta have big sets.
I just mean the licensing fees from like Star Wars and things like that.
Oh yeah, that jacks the price up for sure. There's definitely the Star Wars tax, as some people call the additional price you pay for licensed sets. Okay, so since 2000, Lego has released at least one or more Star Wars Ultimate Collector Series sets. And these tend to have a higher price point and be more complicated builds than the regular Star Wars sets. Two of these sets, number 10018 Darth Maul, released in 2001, and 7194 Yoda, released in 2002, are sculptures with absolutely no play value.
Yeah.
You get a bust of Darth Maul or a full statue of Yoda, and you build it, and you go, man, that looks awesome, and then you put it somewhere and fight dust for the rest of its life. I think it has more to do with building statues out of Lego for the theme parks and for their Lego brand stores, and people going, I want to buy that, and then eventually them going like, oh, well, they want to buy it. There tend to be a lot of basic parts in them.
Right. Okay.
So the return on them has to be quite good. You're selling a lot of 2x2 bricks.
Yeah.
In certain colors, and the instructions to put them together in a cool way, and that's pretty well it. So that's my guess of how that came about. But there's no way you can say it's a toy.
Right. Exactly.
They are not a toy.
No. They're a thing that sits on a shelf and looks cool.
Yeah.
They go in your cubicle.
Which is totally... Oh, man. If you had a cubicle with like a Darth Maul bust made out of Lego...
It'd disappear. You'd have to put glass bolted to the table.
Your boss would come by and be like, yeah, so we've been hearing a lot of talk about your alien head.
But your dark side.
I'm going to have to ask you to take that home, okay? That's a reference for the older people in the crowd.
That's all we have.
Beyond that, since 2008, Lego has released 35 architecture sets. Again, no play value. These are nice buildings that you build that vary in scale and look really cool. They tend to have a higher price point per piece, even though they're mostly smaller pieces. So it's not a cost thing.
Yeah.
It's just that they realize these are made for grown-ups, and grown-ups have more disposable income. Therefore, they'll spend more money on the things they like.
It's true. Yeah.
And they're awesome. I've looked at them many a time and thought, man, it would be cool to have a little Space Needle on my desk. But
some of them are kind of, I don't know. I'm underwhelmed by them.
Really, eh?
Yeah, I'm impressed. I think, they do look kind of cool, but as a Lego thing, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
We built one, and it was like, yeah, no, it's cool. It's not a fantastic Lego build. I feel like that was, and it does look neat when it's built, but it's what am I gonna do now?
Because it doesn't fit with the rest of the scale of
unless
anything
you,
else.
like have a collection of architectural builds, which some people do,
which is awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't know there's many 12-year-olds sitting around with a collection of architectural builds.
I don't know there's many 12-year-olds that want to grow up to be architects. Like, if you did, that's right in your wheelhouse. You'd be like, that's exactly what I need.
And that's a driven kid that's probably going to have ulcers.
But it seems like it's definitely driven at that corporate kind of audience.
Yeah, for sure. It's a nice... It's you would probably have that over Darth Maul's head.
Yeah.
And on your cubicle.
Yeah.
If you want to show that I'm a Lego fan, but
I do know of one architect who is big on those.
Yeah.
Just, build buildings during the day. I'm going to build smaller buildings at night. It's
the people that are in it because it is their passion.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
that's right.
for sure. But again, definitely not a toy.
No,
you don't see, like, your daughter's not going to take like the Space Needle and the Flatron building and develop a narrative about how they go shopping.
Yeah, her friend's Mac is not going to attack the Space Needle.
Moving on, since 2000, Lego has released at least one Creator Advance set, which are the like the modular buildings and the larger sets, like Fairground Mixer that they had, the Ferris wheel, those sort of things.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's proved quite popular since 2008. They've released at least 4 of those sets in a year, with 5 in some of the years. So obviously people are spending the money on them.
Yeah.
And by people, I mean mostly grown-ups.
Yeah.
As they're expensive.
Yeah. It's, again, unless we're underestimating the price point that people are willing to hit at Christmas, like maybe that's grandma and grandpa are like, whoa, they need this.
Or maybe because we're Canadian, they're much less expensive in the States. Yeah. And our dollar just makes, $150 set, a $200 plus $229. Yes.
Yeah.
The dollar's not that bad yet today. But yeah, still, they're much higher price points. They're much more complicated builds. Some of these builds can take, 8 hours to put together. Yeah, that's not your average child.
Although I wonder if it's becoming your average child, like with the complexity of sets and the kids, I think, again, we've gone through this when we were younger, you wouldn't have the amount of sets that kids have nowadays.
That's true.
Like Lego was really expensive comparative to a lot of other toys on the market. Whereas now it seems our kids have so much Lego. So
if a video game costs $90 Canadian and you take that $90 and go to the Lego store, you can get a pretty good set.
Yeah. Like our kids get a lot of, birthdays, Christmases, there's a lot of Lego flying around. So I wonder if it's not such a stretch now for people to spend that for a gift.
Mayhaps.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it does still seem to be kind of collectible-y more.
Yeah, and geared towards grown-ups more.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I don't know. I don't know if that's shifting. Let us know if that's how you guys are using them, but I don't know.
I know my kids would love a lot of these sets.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd have the stamina to build an 8-hour build.
They just don't have the allowance discipline.
No, that's the problem.
I think that's the bigger issue for them. So since 2008, Lego has gone to San Diego Comic-Con with exclusive minifigs and sets that they either give away or sell exclusively at the show. Always limited and highly sought after on the secondary market. For some of the giveaways, if you're lucky enough to win one, selling it can pay for your entire trip down there and then some. So it's very interesting that, again, it used to be they'd start with, one thing, and now they're going to have a couple of sets to sell and a couple of minifigs to give away, and you got to win a draw either way to either win the minifig or win the right to give them money to buy a thing.
Yeah, it's not like a novelty anymore. It's like there's the stakes. There's real stakes there.
Yeah,
I can't imagine any problems with this.
It is a weird thing, and it does seem that there's a lot of pressure on people to win stuff to justify their trip down there. Or even, like I say, win the right to buy something. Yeah. Which is a weird...
Well, if you've won your right to buy a right to get a ticket, then you need to get the thing to justify. Like, man, oh man, it's so much work.
Yeah,
this is why I'll never go to Comic-Con.
It's a weird... we'll never say never.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, never say never.
This is why I haven't gone yet.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things keeping me too, is I would like to go and enjoy the show and not spend the whole time thinking, am I getting the stuff I need to justify my thing here? Forget the experience. I need the stuff. Lego doesn't have to only have 5,000 of a minifigure. They could have made 50,000 to take down there. But Lego definitely engages in some forced scarcity that, they control the taps. They can make what they want. And it seems to me that Lego has a very interesting relationship with the secondary market. Now, obviously, Lego itself doesn't make any money on secondary sales.
No.
But they do seem to have enacted some policies that can inflate secondary market prices, thus ensuring the mainstream media will run stories about how Lego is a better investment than gold.
Right.
As was the thing to do over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Because then you get people going that have no interest in Lego buying Lego, and more people buying your stuff has never been bad for a company.
So what are some of the policies they've put in place?
Well, it seems, and again, I've got nothing official. These are just what I see with my eyes out there. VIP early access to big sets. Every time Lego offers early access, eBay is then flooded with that set, featuring item descriptions like, not even out yet, or buy it before anyone else.
Right.
So you're creating scarcity by limiting who can purchase. And I'd love to say that every VIP Lego member is someone with kids that's buying toys or a collector of themselves. But no, there's lots of poachers out there that like to get the stuff just to sell the stuff.
Yeah.
And that's a weird thing. I've also noticed that my local Lego store seems to get very little stock of a big release when it first comes out, only to get more a few weeks later, which is weird because Lego control how they stock stores any way they want.
Or could that just be a manufacturing decision? Like, let's get it on the shelves now while we're still printing the rest of the inventory. I mean, it's like just-in-time kind of inventory strategy.
But if you're going to sell out regardless, which Lego seems to, then what's the point of having a rush to get a few out? To me, I think it only serves to create hype.
And the Lego stores are, those aren't franchise stores. So I guess they know metrics-wise very closely what that sales bump does and could see first and second release of the item. What those say. So there could be something there where they could say, well, you know what? We see a big bump. Let's throttle scarcity a bit. Or generate scarcity. Yeah,
to generate press, to get people.
I don't think it's malicious, but I mean, that would be if they were intentionally doing it, it's a good sales strategy.
Possibly. I mean, the most recent example I can think of is the Ghostbusters HQ set, which my local store, they said they only got 12 of on the first day, and they were completely sold out within the first 10 minutes of being open.
Yeah.
And that would really suck if you're like a 10-year-old kid that saved up their allowance and paper route money for months to buy the set, and you couldn't get it on the day they said it's out because a bunch of adults had bought as many as they were allowed to carry out of the store. And that's weird because those adults are just going to take that box and stack it up in a closet and hope to sell it later for more money.
I kind of feel like it might be given how big Lego is globally now, a warehousing issue and a logistics issue. Like if you can do just in time, producing those sets, getting your inventory right to the stores instead of warehousing it, that's more efficient and cost effective for Lego as opposed to building your entire inventory of that set and then
but when the second wave of inventory comes in,
you're
and
immediately
big bulk,
pushing it right out. You're not even warehousing it. You're literally sending it to the stores as it's getting manufactured.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
I think
possibly, but it does seem suspicious.
It does, but given the global demand, you think how many Lego stores is there?
Globally? Yeah, the logistics department of Lego, not even how many stores, how many warehouses, how many factories are involved in producing one set.
If they can, they can't cut costs in a lot of areas, but warehousing is one area where they can cut it.
Plus, they do have a history of their warehouses burning down.
This is true. So just-in-time logistics is like perfect for them.
It might be fear-based. It might be like, get these sets out of here before this
in transit. They can't light fire. Oh,
that's right. They only had one tanker ship sink, releasing Lego into the world.
This is true.
Whereas they've had 4 or 5 fires. I can't even remember.
So it's a safer bet. Get it on the boat. Yeah. Get it on the boat. Get it where there's water.
That's right.
Oh,
that makes sense. I hadn't thought of it that way.
I feel bad laughing at that, but it's kind of I do wonder if that's again it's so hard because you can cut these issues both ways, but they're always in the advantage of it as a product,
right?
So it's hard not to be a little conspiracy theorist about this sort of stuff.
Plus, being the age I am, cynical is like my base mode, right? Yeah,
that's a good point.
You can't grow up when I grow up and not be cynical. You young kids out there, be idealistic. Don't be cynical.
Well, yeah,
don't be like
they're
me.
saying, what is Jeff talking about,
Yes.
Mom and Dad? That man he's just cynical. And he's obsessed with fire. What's wrong with these people?
So much. One thing that's not wrong is the packaging on sets nowadays. You can see the evolution of the Lego set packaging. Around 2007, Lego started to put a little box or cutout on the front of some of their packages showing all the minifigures included in a set, which makes sense. People want to see what minifigures am I going to get. Inconsistently, they would either place it on the front or sometimes on the top or side of the box, but it was always there. After a while, they started to include a new splash panel that highlighted any new figures that they hadn't made before. And then by 2012, they added a new little cutout graphic that they'd put beside each figure that they hadn't made before. So this made it easier for minifig collectors and resellers to decide if they'd like to buy a set based solely on the minifigures it contained.
Or it's about consumer information. They're just giving us all the information we need to make an informed decision.
Is that what it is?
I can't even.
Yeah, it's definitely. And if you see some of the builds that these new minifigures came with, sometimes you're like, wow, they wanted to produce this minifigure and they also had to get a set at this price point.
Some of those stretch sets. Yeah. Really, come on.
And who knows, maybe in the design process, they were going for a certain price point, and then later somebody looked at a spreadsheet and said, no, it has to be this price point, and they had to scale back whatever their plans were.
Delete half those bricks.
Yeah, possibly, maybe.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure, the box was going to have new beside that figure, because on this one, they gave him a vest which has an extra stripe on it.
Well, that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Does he have the alternative helmet?
Yeah.
And there's 4 minifigures in a swing.
So really, you'd have to buy this set, because your captain of the Resistance Guard is not the right one.
And it is true. It's, again, that rise of the minifigure has really changed the whole thing.
And for a long time, Lego resisted this idea of being a minifig company, a minifig collectible company. And it was all about the toys. It was all about the toys, all about the set.
They looked at being a profitable company and went, you know what?
Let's give the peeps what they want, right?
Yeah, so
I'm sure that was exactly what said in the boardroom. Somebody stood up and said, what if we give the peeps what they want?
The mini peeps.
Yes.
Or the mega peeps.
The mega peeps. Yes.
Yeah, I don't, again, I think it works both ways. I think it gives people what they want and it works in Lego's advantage. So I can't be too cynical about it. I think they had to make those decisions.
I can be too cynical. I think somebody stood up and said, we'll make more money if we throw a new minifig into this 6th build of the same Star Wars thing we built already a bunch of times. And then
someone else said, and everyone will be happy. And then they all had it. They threw their hands up and confetti fell from the ceiling. And they drank champagne.
What about balloons?
Balloons? Well, no.
No, just confetti.
Just confetti. They spent all the money on plastic manufacturing.
And then later that night, some poor woman had to clean up all that confetti, and she did not have a good day. So Lego is about to release another line with absolutely zero playability, the Brickheads.
But they're so cool.
I have to agree. Okay, so these were first released at San Diego Comic-Con as exclusive sets, so you could win the right to buy them. And that was 2016. But Lego will be launching a line of these in 2017. And these are definitely designed to compete in the same space as the ubiquitous... Oh, I can't say that word. I wrote it and I can't even say it.
Ubiquitous.
Ubiquitous. That's what I said, right?
We got vinyl?
Yeah, of the Funko Pop vinyl collectible figures.
ABS.
Yes.
I'm going to take it. We've talked about this a lot. I hate those things, those vinyls. Yeah. I hate them so much for so many reasons, but they're vinyl. Mm-hmm. We don't need more vinyl.
No.
Vinyl's a terrible material.
No, let's surround our bedroom with off-gassing vinyl.
ABS is a far better plastic if I have to choose between the two. So if I'm going to take a nonsensible collectible figurine to play somewhere, I'll take ABS. And they look cool.
Now, I agree, because they're cute little big-headed statues built out of Lego, and they look great on a shelf or a desk. Outside of these looking good, these figures will also... No, wait, no, that's it. They're just going to look good. That's all they've got going for them.
I'm not surprised they went into this market when they looked at, they looked at the store shelves and went,
Well, that's the thing, because those Funko Pop, they're in toy stores, they're in comic book stores, they're in grocery stores.
Yeah, you get the right intellectual property.
Basically, if you have some sort of till that takes money, there's Funko Pop somewhere in the store.
It's true.
I'm pretty sure you could go into
these are going to be like bookstores. Mm-hmm. You could have anything.
Yep, and just shelves of them. So we'll see.
Shakespeare pop. But you could have anything.
I'd be shocked if they haven't done that, actually.
Yeah, well, come on, Lego. Where's your literary licenses? You don't even have to pay royalties on this.
Now, make no mistakes. I am the target market for these, and I will consume them wholeheartedly. I have barely avoided buying the Funko Pop figures over the years. I'm always just about to buy one, knowing that once I bought one, I would need to collect a bunch.
And then spend your whole life feeling guilty about all the destruction to the environment you've done.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and
that's,
be like,
that's totally your thought, right?
Son, make sure you hand this Vision Funko Pop figure down to your great-grandson. I don't want to go in a landfill.
Hand him the bag of it, because it's going to decompose in another 12 minutes.
The vinyl ones?
Actually, no, that's true. They'll be here forever.
Yeah, 12 billion years or something like so. But whatevs. Now Lego's doing it, and I couldn't be happier.
And they could take it apart if they get tired of it.
That's right.
That's the nice part about these things, I think, is that if you truly just get sick of it, it's Lego.
Absolutely.
Whereas the other ones,
you can take that Iron Man logo and make an Iron Man car. You don't need to make it Iron Man.
Exactly.
Right? Or you could build a bigger Iron Man.
Or you can pretend all your friends' figurines killed Iron Man, took his stuff, and now has built something else with it. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's what my daughter would do.
That's right. Or you could take the head from Iron Man and build like a Squirrel Girl tippy toe Iron Man suit, which was featured. If you're not reading the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl as a comic, you should be.
I haven't been.
I'm cynical, and it's got to be the most optimistic, happy comic on the history. Yes. It's about a girl that has all the powers of a squirrel and all the powers of a girl.
That's pretty amazing.
And she's unbeatable. It's right in her name.
Obviously she would be.
Anyway, that's my comic recommendation for the day. It's got a squirrel named Tippy Toe that wears a bow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How am I not reading this?
I'm a little upset.
Wow.
And it's written by the guy, Ryan North, the same guy who writes the Adventure
Time
comics. Yeah. So
I'm all over this.
There you go. I'm just trying to convince James to read this comic.
No, you just told me that's enough. I'm sold.
So maybe I am too cynical. Maybe I'm being too hard on Lego. Perhaps they haven't lost their way, and they are still a toy company first and foremost. They still hit all the price points, right? They're always going to produce sets that kids can buy with their allowance. And some of these are sets that adults look at and go, who would spend money on that? That's a terrible set.
A child wearing with dirt on his face and one of those little caps and a tear in his eye because he can only afford something that vaguely resembles a Lego set.
Not enough people bought their newspaper that day? Is this a newsie you're describing?
Yeah, the 1800s.
Yeah. And then he goes and sings a song, and then Disney goes, no, we own that song.
That's right.
And then, okay.
That's why he's living on the streets.
But yeah, definitely those $6 Lego sets are not aimed at adult collectors ever.
Those are guilt purchases done at
Is that what they are?
Toy stores. Fine, I'll buy you this if you just shut up and we can get out of the store. I'm guaranteed that's what that is.
You've got some shopping to do later today, don't you? I can tell.
I find toy stores the most depressing places on earth. We just watch other people, man. It's just social dynamics. It's awful.
You're the guy like with a fold-up chair in the corner and a box of popcorn.
Absolutely. Well, it's like cashier tills are the way they are. It's all about these like weird impulse and guilt purchases. There's no noble.
You're gonna talk retail to me.
Yeah,
I can't. Okay,
you know this.
Let's move on.
You know this.
And now, while Lego is a sophisticated interlock building medium, it will forever be sold in toy stores, which we just found out is James's favorite place to hang out and laugh at other humans. Even the large sets that they make, like the Creator Expert ones, they do focus on play based around a storyline, sometimes to the chagrin of adult builders who don't care that the laundromat next to the bank is simply a front to steal cash out of the vault, or that the detective will never solve who is smuggling cookies into the bar because he's blinded by love.
Well, these are people who don't love joy.
Yes. I must say, as an adult builder, as I build these, I love that there is a storyline built into it.
I always imagine you giggling as you build these things.
Quite often. And I go like, oh, that's awesome.
And you call your wife over and she just shakes her head and walks out of the room.
Yep, that's exactly what happens. Yeah, I mean, some people, though, they just want their new modular building for their Lego city. Apparently, story-driven play features and civic planning just don't mix.
I don't
disagree wholeheartedly.
Yeah. If more civic planners thought about story when they were doing their jobs, I think the world would be a better place. Yes. Absolutely.
We've all seen those public parks that have a playground where they never thought of play features.
No.
They're like, let's build this structure. There, now the kids will play.
Done.
Yeah.
No. Joy.
Now, and Lego will, from time to time, update an old classic set like Santa's Workshop, which they released originally in 2009 and then again in 2015. They're almost exactly the same build with some repeat minifigs, and it'll allow people that missed the original to get it again without paying the inflated secondary market prices.
Which I like.
Which I like a lot. And Lego, if you're listening, and I know you listen to this podcast, please re-release the early modular buildings. I need them.
Yeah.
I need them bad.
Yeah, I
and
know.
I don't want to pay that money.
No.
But I will.
That's terrifying when you look at the secondary market prices on that stuff.
You know?
It's dreadful.
It's dreadful.
Yeah.
And I need a Lego.
And you're not going to part those out and build them from other...
I look at that from time to time,
Yeah.
you know, but some of the parts are exclusive to those sets,
Yeah.
and so they're ridiculously priced, and you should re-release them, and you should give me some to build and review.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? That'll work,
I think
right?
that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
The other thing to look at too, almost all of Lego's marketing is aimed at kids. Now, Lego now loves their adult fans. I mean, it wasn't always that way, but they've come to embrace them. But let's face it, Lego shapes almost their entire advertising budget towards getting kids to want Lego. From TV shows to the websites, it's all kid-focused.
The Lego magazine.
Yes, absolutely. These are...
What, it's not for adults?
Well, I look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, I find the puzzles a little easy. My kids get so mad when I write in them.
Submitting your picture of your build, and they just don't put it in?
Not once.
Not once.
It seems unfair. It seems really, really unfair. But what are you going to do? To me, the most important reminder that I'm still playing with toys is that I zoom around the little car, truck, or motorcycle on my desk, making noises. And then my wife asks me, "Are you playing with your Lego?" Of course I am. It's a toy. So what do you guys think? Has Lego begun to lose their way? Are they still a toy company that makes some collectibles, or are they now a collectible company that makes some toys? Let us know. Leave a comment on the website or hit me up on Twitter. I'm at Still Sorting.
And if you've enjoyed the show, please spread the word. Give it a rating in iTunes. Let someone else know. Yell about it. Do all those things. Until next time, I've been James.
And I'm still Jeff.